Or if you prefer, just explore on your own as long as you like. At Diamonds Direct, we've taken pressure out of the process. Our experts are cheerful and engaging. We'll help you on your terms with your price range when you're ready. We've made it easy by offering virtually unlimited options. With everything in our showcase being handpicked for its beauty and quality, you can't go wrong. You are guaranteed to get the best value because we are the value leader, and you have confidence in knowing you are protected with our lifetime warranties and guarantees. Diamonds Direct's experience is designed with our goal of creating not just a happy moment, but a magical one. So you leave smiling, just like you came in. Diamonds Direct, for your best moments in life. Get store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf. I fish a lot. I hunt. I bowl. And it just made it a lot easier with less pain.
Go to biotarget.com to learn more. If you don't feel results, we'll refund the cost. It's our risk-free guarantee.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-900-4770, 904-900-4770. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-900-4770.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. Cowboys wideout CeeDee Lamb ends his holdout and gets a 4-year, $136 million contract, $100 million guaranteed, a $38 million signing bonus, which is a record for a receiver. Now, what about his teammates, Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons?
I don't think this has any bearing on that at all. I think Dallas knew it was trying to re-sign CD. I think it was the next deal that they were going to get done. He was next in line, and now that he's done, they can begin to move ahead.
Adam Schefter on Carlin versus Joe. A little obscure baseball history in Boston today. Red Sox catcher Danny Jansen becomes the first player to appear in the same game for both teams. Jansen was hitting for the Blue Jays at Fenway Park 2 months ago when the game was suspended. He was traded to Boston in July, and the teams are finishing that game today. They're scoreless in the 6th inning. Opening day at the U.S. Open in New York. Coverage right now on ESPN and ESPN+.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Who is this guy? Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN. And the HD studio in Atlanta, Georgia.
Let's do this.
Shack Attack. Shatter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn off your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Nothing like a show on top of another show to get us kicked off. This is some avant-garde producing from you, Brian. I gotta say. A little ahead of your time. Welcome, everybody. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Here to make sure when the mistakes are made, we point them out and don't let anybody go without noticing. Welcome.
I feel like there's a hotkey that you should play at that point.
What's the hotkey?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I'm looking. Well, you mean the hotkey we should play when people are like, all of the shows Brian produces are perfect?
No, they're not.
Was that hotkey? Is that what you're talking about? No? Okay. Welcome, everyone. Aaron Schachter here. Brian Middleton behind the glass. Untangling headphones. One of my pet peeves right there. See, Brian, you don't know the pain because I don't think you really owned a house phone. Did you? Actually, you did. When I first met you, you had a house phone. So you know about the cords that come with the house phones. And people, when they weren't careful or minding their cords, these cords would get all tangled up.
Okay.
It used to drive me crazy. It's like a OCD pet peeve of mine.
Did you know that cords, especially microphone cords and telephone cords, that they actually have memory to them? So you have to like wrap them up a certain way, or else they can fray on the inside eventually from poor wrapping.
What does that have to do with memory?
Because it remembers. It's like memory foam, but for wires.
But I mean, wires are metal. It's just a malleable, thin metal.
Yeah, but it remembers, especially if you're just rolling it any kind of way and just, you can fray the inside.
I feel like you're making this up right now.
No, man, I was in college right there. The Georgia Southern University, man. Kent Dean Murray.
And they told you in college.
Professor Kent Dean Murray.
Professor Murray was like, Brian, just so you know, inside of mic cables, there's memory foam. That's basically what the professor was saying.
All right, we'll pull it for a promo. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
All
okay.
Right.
Anything else you want to mislead on the statement of what I said, Aaron Schachter?
Well, I would
Anything
actually
else?
just one more. I would like to ban that jacket forever. It's like,
well, this is bold, isn't it?
Well, it's not the design. It's acoustic static is what you're giving me on
is
the
that
microphone.
What it is? Okay, I thought it might be,
You're a moving kind of guy, you know? You don't hear it when you move around in there? You and Michelle Thibodeau should get together and make some kind of symphony of noise. How dare you?
I tell you what Michelle Thibodeau texted me, but I don't want to get her. That sounds bad. Never mind. I'll tell you in a break.
Cool.
It's nothing bad. It's just
appreciate the heads up.
It's what you would have expected.
Well, look, man, it was a busy weekend for a lot of folks. But before we get there, I do want to start out by saying thank you to everyone who participated in Carathon. That's why I wasn't with you guys on Thursday and Friday. I was busy out at Nemours Children's Health trying to raise some money for the Child Cancer Fund in Northeast Florida with a bunch of different folks from the radio station here, run by our guy, Reg Jones, from down the hall. The goal was $500,000, Brian.
Really?
They did not hit the goal. But they still hit a phenomenal number that broke all kinds of records for fundraising with Carathon over the last 10 years. They hit $350,000. Man, big day right there. Thank you to everyone who donated. Thank you to everyone who volunteered. And thank you for everyone who checked in on us while we were doing our thing, whether it be on the radio or on social media. That was a big day. You really helped a lot of kids here in town and their families. Something to be proud of for all of you. Also going on this weekend, Brian, we saw some theatrics at the Little League World Series. We'll get to that in a little bit. We've got some breaking news to kick off the show, which we could talk about also in a little bit. There might be a new second place in non-quarterback payroll rankings in the NFL. Not might be, there is. Obviously, if you listened to the station for the last 3 minutes or looked at Twitter in the last 20, you know who it is, but we'll dig in on what it means for everybody else. We've also got a Brian Middleton production. Welcome to Monday, a little game of Dead or Alive in the 4 o'clock hour. We've got a Jaguars trade from this morning, somewhat shocking one, especially if you've been keeping up with the boys this preseason. Also, cut day looms tomorrow. I think the deadline is 3 or 4 p.m. Jaguars already making moves. I think between yesterday and today, the count is up to 10 or 11 guys now. We'll review who those guys are. Doug Pederson hit the podium. And this is, again, in preview, I guess, of Cut Day. A couple of questions asked about the roster. We'll get to Doug's thoughts on the roster. But before we get to any of that, Brian, I was told that Naya won't be the only person on the show who's going to be doing the prison report moving forward. Convict. Sounds like you had a little dust up over the weekend.
Did I have a dust up over the weekend?
That's what it sounded like. I saw the police blotter.
A bit more. You're TMZ with the correct information.
You think so?
Your National Enquirer with the flair you're adding on there. But that's cool, though.
Okay.
I'm just saying the block was hot. The block was hot.
Here are the facts that
on
I've
Beach
heard.
and Kernan last evening.
Here's the facts that I've heard before you get to your story, all right?
Yeah.
I heard a fact that you were pulled over by the police.
Yeah, boy.
And then I didn't hear any details about what happened, but I know you came in today, you got a cross around your neck, and if you found God, maybe you found him in prison. So I'm wondering what happened.
Yeah, boy.
What happened?
Oh, that's my cue.
Yeah. It's usually how that works.
One, the cross with the chain is one of the 2 chains I wear most days that I'm in here, but that's cool.
2 chains?
Yeah, but I got me a few on.
I got me a few. Come on.
Look at you.
Come on.
It's a lyric. I like that.
All right.
And then the block was hot.
All right, so you're driving around last night.
On Beach in Kernan. I was leaving here.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Beach is usually festering with activity of police.
Really?
Trying to catch people. Now, granted, they wouldn't have no one to catch if we all followed the law, right? It's not like it's the police's problem. But
I don't know.
I often see those guys laying in the cut, sitting in the shadows.
I didn't see him at all. But I think he was like plain car. He's like plain clothes officer, but plain car.
Goes undercover, huh?
No. I'm saying the car was, it didn't have police or, it had the
until they turn the lights on.
Right. And then he walks out in full uniform. And I'm like, okay, my bad, my boy.
Optimus Prime back there turns into a police officer. You're like, what is happening to me now?
But like I said, go ahead.
So you're on Beach Boulevard.
Yeah, it was
and
a
I've seen
balmy
these guys
78
sometimes.
degrees.
I'll tell you, Beach Boulevard and Atlantic, too, on those overpasses that they built a couple of years back.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see the cops kind of laying right underneath the overpass as you pass by. Some people, doing like 60 down Atlantic or Beach thinking they're just sailing all the way down, and then suddenly, whoop, 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 right behind you, man.
Could have been.
Is that what happened to you?
It was okay. So Aaron, you know where we're at here.
Sure.
So you get off of Central Parkway where that Wawa's at the light. You make a right.
You're talking like
and so you're heading towards
this is
Kernan.
just east of Beach and St. John's Bluff, headed towards Kernan.
Yeah. So you're past that area. I'm trying to think exactly where the stop was at. I don't know what's on the right side. It's a bunch of little shops before you get to Kernan.
Like a strip mall, yeah.
And that's basically where we pulled off. Even though we pulled off in the turn lane, because I was in the passing lane.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the lane with the only people who have sense enough to drive. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't going 40 in the left lane. I wasn't going 25 in the far right lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to be the center of attention while everybody else is trying to get to where they're trying to go, because you only get so many years on Earth. Anyway, yes, he pulls me over. Luckily for me, I was able to, recognize the lights and also hear the whoop, whoop, because sometimes the music doesn't allow me to hear the whoop, whoop, but I did.
Okay.
I did hear the whoop, whoop.
Because that's how you start off on the wrong foot with the police officer.
Absolutely.
He's like, where are you trying to get to?
And so at that point, I was like, you know what? I've been putting it off too long. This was the wrong time to put off getting my registration. Because, my birthday was last.
Just passed, yeah.
And they send you, to their credit, like 8 months before.
Like, hey, renew this. Yes.
Hey, you can go ahead and do it for 2 years.
And by the way,
don't worry about it.
You can do it online.
Yeah.
You could do it at a reduced rate. They make it easy for you.
They almost implore you to do it by, dangling the carrot. Just like, hey, man, hey, here you go.
So,
but not me. Not I.
Oh, no.
And I looked at it because I still have the paper now. I have to pay full price and like an extra $10 because it's been like 3 weeks since my birthday. Man. So, but I was just like, I'll get to it probably not this weekend. At some point this week, I'll get to it. Anyway, that's the first thing that popped into my head. Then I really started thinking about things. I was like, man, it's nighttime out here. Let me go back to what I remember, what my parents taught me way back in the day.
Okay.
They were like, hey, listen, you don't have to answer any questions, but be respectful. Okay?
Not answering questions, somewhat adversarial.
Nah.
I realize you're entitled to not answer questions.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you're trying to get on the right side of the police officer, tell him to mind his business is not the way to do it.
But they were like, no, if you're trying to get on the right side of the police officer, you make sure they feel comfortable.
That's a big one, yeah.
So first of all, don't start a police chase. Okay? Rule
No,
number one.
Rule
to
number
make the police
one.
feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't start a police chase.
Don't do it.
You're
yeah.
not Vin Diesel. Huh? You're not Fast and Furious.
And it's not all about family for you today. Okay.
You pull over, okay?
Yeah.
And if it's nighttime, which it was, or evening, it's dark, okay? You turn the lights on in your vehicle.
Sure.
Don't care if you got low battery.
Look at you. You know
turn
the whole
lights
manual.
on in your vehicle.
Love this. Okay.
Down all 4 of your windows.
Oh.
You want the police officer to feel as comfortable as possible, see everything in the car.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would think pulling down all 4 windows might make the officer suspicious.
Could be.
Like maybe there's an odor in the car you're trying to air out or something like that.
Could be. Maybe. But this hasn't failed me yet. When it does fail me, I'll come back.
Maybe
after getting out, after bailing out, and I'll be like, you know what? Don't use that tactic anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. So you're pulled over. Now, you said it was nighttime, right?
Yeah, it was dark.
So that's one thing that can make, I think, all parties involved nervous. You want to make sure everything can be seen.
A little jittery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Drinking, 2 cups of espresso. A little jittery out here.
Okay.
A little shaky.
Yeah.
But anyway, the last thing, in order to make everybody feel comfortable, put your hands at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel until the officer comes out.
Now, is that after you've turned on your phone's video recorder so you can tell the officer you're a sovereign citizen and his laws don't apply to you?
This is the other thing, Aaron. One of the other gifts I got for my birthday that I have yet to set up, and I had literally, I was like, when I get back from South Carolina tomorrow, I said this on Friday because I was going to South Carolina on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I said tomorrow, which was
the day I got pulled over. South Carolina this weekend? For a day?
That's where I went for like 2, 3, 4 hours.
What is wrong with you, man?
That's why, the whole FSU thing.
All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay. Let's get to the cop story.
Anyway, so the other gift I got, I promise that I have to take this ADHD moment, was a dash cam. Okay. And I was like, okay, I'm going to set this up when I get back from South Carolina, but I'll do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was like,
missed out.
I'll get to it this week. And I was looking at it. It's in the car. And I'm looking at it like, man, no registration, no dash cam. Anyway, officer comes up.
Yeah.
And is not as polite as can be.
Okay.
And then he was like, I pulled you over for the speeding. I was going 45 miles per hour. And then you zip by.
This was JSO, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I was speeding because I'm going to be honest about stuff.
Oh, you told them?
Well, I wasn't going to be like, I didn't realize it. And I was like, no, I realized it.
Lawyers would tell you doing the wrong thing right there.
Nah, not for a speeding ticket, Aaron.
For any infraction.
For some of the dirt that you told me that you done on the street. Like, yeah, I'd be like, man, I don't even know what that is. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
What's my lawyer? But I will say that he when he has to get my my ID.
Yeah.
And insurance and all that stuff.
You were like, I don't got to show it to you. Mind your business.
Almost, no.
Oh, okay.
I almost.
You see those TikTok videos, these wild people out there?
Who study the law? I ain't got enough time to study the law.
They didn't even study the law.
Nah, some of them have, man. Because they're like statute 149,
yeah, exactly.
3.7.
They looked on Reddit. They memorized a paragraph, and they say it to the cop. Cop's like, cool, I'm still taking you to jail.
Cop's like, you know what? All right.
We'll let the judge deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, here's this ticket.
Figure it out.
You know what I mean? Statute 183.7-2. Okay, well, this $150 ticket can be paid at.
That's right. So the police officer walks up. He seems to be in a decent mood. You're trying to be as polite as possible.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I was like, are there any more lights I can turn on for you, officer? I'll turn on the high beams if that makes it easy. I just want to make sure everything's comfortable.
Yeah.
Now, when he asked me for my ID, almost had to remember, you know what I mean? Just, again, think before you move.
All right.
I was like, let me get my ID, and it was in my pocket, in my right pocket.
You got to reach for it now.
Yeah, so where the seatbelt clicks at was where my pocket's at.
Ooh, it's also where people sometimes keep a holster or something.
So I get about a quarter, because 10 and 2 on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And my left hand, I get about a quarter of the way, and I got to turn my shoulder, and everything in my brain say, hey, man, look, what we doing? What we trying to do? We trying to get to the Aaron Schachter show tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Okay, man, why don't you stop and let them know where the wallet's at? So then I stopped myself.
Telegraph everything.
And I was like, hey, it's in my pocket. He's like, man, you're cool. I'm like,
look at that.
Cool.
Look at that.
I didn't check to see if he had his hand on anything because, listen, got nothing to hide. And everybody was chill. Anyway, he just told me to get the registration handled, which I did.
Oh, look at you. Let you off with a warning?
Because I was honest. Oh, he asked me about the registration too.
Yeah, he didn't let you off with a warning because you were honest. He let you off with a warning because whatever math he did in his head, he was like, this ain't worth it.
Well, this is why I say the block is hot. We ended up going the same way onto Kernan.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, the light from Beach onto Kernan.
Yeah, and one of my favorite pizza shops is in that shop.
What's it called?
It's Milano's.
Okay, yeah.
It's in that Kernan Beach shopping center. It's delicious. Shout out to Milano's. Delicious slice.
So that's like going right at Kernan. I'm talking about going left. So away from that in that shopping center.
Okay, so you're headed up towards Atlantic or whatever.
Yeah, towards Atlantic. Man, we didn't get 500 yards from the light onto Kernan. He pulled somebody else over. I was like, man, let me get out of here. So, Aaron, this is why I'm saying the block is even hotter.
Yeah.
we get to the first light onto Kernan. There's a neighborhood. There's 2 cops that got somebody pulled over there with the lights flashing. I'm like, are they out? Aaron, I stop in the Ross parking lot. The Ross parking lot on Kernan. If you're familiar, there's a Longhorns, there's a Ross, there's a Walmart shopping center.
It's a giant shopping center.
Aaron Schachter, at the intersection of Atlantic and Kernan, 2 more cops turned their lights on and pulled people off. I was like, okay, I see what time it is.
Fish in a barrel, man. Fish in a barrel. You know, what's funny is you mentioned going to your waist for your license. And you got to let the cop know what you're doing.
Please.
That was actually that was the first time I ever had a gun pointed at me, was by a police officer. I was 14 years old.
Man, that's the first time?
14 years old. I was at the Broadway Junction train station. Back when I was a kid going to high school, I took 2 trains to get to high school.
Okay.
Train from Brooklyn to downtown Brooklyn and then downtown Brooklyn to Manhattan. So everyone transfers at this downtown Brooklyn stop. So I'm sitting on the platform, I'm standing on the platform. And even though you're outside on some of these platforms, certainly back then, definitely not now, you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes out there. They tried to outlaw these things a long time ago out there. So I was sitting there as a rebellious kid, choking back a heater, minding my own business. And then some dude walks up to me, and he kind of mumbles something at me, which I thought he said, hey, do you have another one? And so I was like, yeah, fine. And I go reach into my jacket pocket to go grab one because it's in the inside of my jacket. It was cold that day. And as I'm putting my hand in there, dude pulls out his gun, pulls back his jacket to show his badge. He says, freeze, police, don't move. And I thought I was getting shot at 14 years old. I thought it was done. I stopped right in my tracks. I was looking at him like deer in the headlights. He's like, I said, put out the cigarette. I was like, yes, sir.
To this day.
Yes, sir. Cigarette went out. He goes, get over here. And he asked me for my ID and all this
Mortal
stuff.
Kombat character?
Exactly.
What is
He threw a chain at me
this?
and pulled me close. He goes, get over. He was about 10 feet from me. He goes, get over here. So I walk over there to him, and he starts asking me all these questions. Where am I going? What am I doing? Smoking cigarettes. I should give you a ticket, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So he's almost done with me. Like, we have nothing else to talk about. He sees the train coming, right? So he goes, all right, hold on for a second. You stand right here against the wall. And then he walks off a couple of feet away. He starts talking to someone on his CB or whatever it is. He makes sure the train comes and leaves so I can't get on it. And then he comes back to me, he goes, don't do it again. And he walks away from me. So I was like, man, that guy made me late on purpose. That was but then again, small consequence compared to the alternative, which is getting a few holes put in me because I tried to offer the guy a cigarette. So that wasn't even the only time I ever had a gun pulled on me by a cop.
Well, I was going to ask you, when was that? Tell me about the second and third time. That was going to be my punchline.
The second time
here we go.
Was July 4th in Brooklyn, just a few years later.
Yeah, you asked for that
These
one.
kids on the block, they weren't kids. They were young adults. We're talking like guys in their 20s.
Okay.
Right? They were the older brothers of all the kids that were on the block. And July 4th, because in New York, it's hard to do the flying fireworks. Cops come over and shut it down. There's so many houses and trees and stuff. It's real dangerous. Out here, where things are more spread out, I think the rules are a little more lax. I think it's still illegal out here.
Okay.
But you rarely ever see people get busted in these neighborhoods. I mean, they're blowing up stuff all day long on July 4th. I never see anyone get in trouble for it. But back in Brooklyn, everyone used to get in trouble. So instead of doing the ones that fly in the air, they did something which was a little more dangerous, but not as easy to see from a few streets away.
Okay.
They would do these firecracker fights. They'd take these M80s and cherry bombs, these big explosive little handheld fireworks. You light them, and then you toss them, and then you try and land them near the other people. Now, granted, you could end up really getting hurt. It was a dumb idea. No one should be doing this. It was really stupid. But we were playing that game, and the cops were called, so the cops rolled through the neighborhood. So me and my friend Paul jumped behind this hedge. It's like in this guy's front yard, like this line of bushes. And we're just sitting there watching out because we saw the cop car roll down. So cop car goes past the neighborhood, and then another guy in a wheelchair who owns the house rolls up, and he points a gun at us, and he tells us to get out of the yard. And then someone screams that the cop car is coming down the block. He rolled away. I guess he didn't want to get caught with the gun. We jump behind the bushes. The cop sees us jump behind the bushes. They speed up, screech the car, get out, guns pulled, and screaming at us to get out. Twice in the same day we had guns pulled on us that day. Just for fireworks. We weren't even the guilty party.
I don't know. Y'all might be the problem now, Aaron.
I was just there.
maybe trouble looking for you. You ever thought about that?
I did think about that, and that's why I stopped hanging out with those dudes.
Good, hey man, good for you. Look at you.
Yeah, man.
Adulting at a younger age.
Listen, ain't much adulting to it. You get a gun pointed at you by someone who's not a police officer, and you go, I am in the wrong spot. I shouldn't be here. Hell, you get a gun pointed at you by a police officer, and you wonder why you're doing what you're doing and where you're at. But at least there could be a reason for it. The other dude, it's like, what would I have gotten shot over? It's just nonsense. And look, you made it out safe, too, because you did the right thing.
Yeah, man, 10
Lights
and 2.
on, 10 and 2.
10 and 2. Windows
Respectful
down.
with the windows down. You're sitting there, hands out the window. You ditched all your illicit materials a few blocks back, so you're not getting caught up in any of that. All the illegal stuff is hidden under your spare tire. You know exactly what you got to do out there. I'm proud of you, Brian. Way to go. I didn't even get to Operation Southern Slowdown. That's probably why you got pulled over. They're handing out lots of tickets these days.
Well, maybe come back to that. We'll get to Doug Pederson
I'm just saying,
Tuesday.
You just got to know. We don't got to come back to it. You just got to be aware.
But the block was hot. Lil Wayne told me back in 2000 the block is hot. I probably shouldn't have been listening to it, but the block is hot.
Yeah, exactly.
The block is hot. The Hot Boys
super
told
hot.
me Tuesdays and Thursdays you better watch for the sweep. I can't finish the line for you. Look it up.
I'm a little bummed that you can't do like a joint broadcast with Naya from Cumberland this Friday. That would have been cool.
Like now I felt your pain.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
And now you're the bunkie. Way to go.
Bottom bunk, though.
I mean, 6'8". I don't think he's going to have a choice. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. We'll figure out the bunk assignments when we come back. 904-362-9901. It's ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and breezy on this Monday. It stays plenty warm with daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s. It'll be a little more mild at the beach with a few showers, generally shifting inland through the day. Tonight, we can't rule out an isolated coastal shower. Overnight lows will be in the 70s. And for tomorrow, isolated to widely scattered showers, again, mainly moving inland. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Keeping your home clean while trying to sell it with kids, dogs, or a busy life can be overwhelming. Skip the stress of constant cleaning and get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. When you get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and avoid the hassle of costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Lori, said, they had our house sold within 3 days and kept us informed on everything that was happening. Mark Spain Real Estate was wonderful to work with, and I would highly recommend them to anyone looking to sell. Don't worry about the inconveniences of selling your home. I've been serving homeowners for nearly 30 years and have helped over 58,000 satisfied clients sell their home. I know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer will be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
The latest 350 horsepower onboard has just hit the water. Introducing the all-new Yamaha 4.3-liter V6 offshore F350 with advanced features and class-leading power to weight. Every run will be more efficient and exhilarating. The new 4.3-liter V6 offshore F350 from Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
You can be a part of helping local kids in crisis simply by giving to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency, now celebrating its 140th year. Daniel provides counseling to abused children, connects kids with foster families, helps homeless teens find shelter, and strengthens at-risk families. But they need your support. Please join Daniel in improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org.
One Blood, a national blood donation center, recently experienced a cyber attack that has now affected hospitals across our state. Today, we're calling on all Floridians to consider donating blood to help ensure a strong and healthy blood supply for Florida. The state of Florida is partnering with Life South, Suncoast, and other local blood centers. To find a blood donation center, visit floridadonates.com. This message is sponsored by the Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better immediately at Sam's guaranteed best price. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, you.
What's good, my boy?
Connect with us on Instagram. Search for @ESPN 690 Jax and check out the latest sports news. We're ESPN 690.
What?
We are ESPN 690.
As long as you're tracking.
Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Hey, Brian, I heard Chase Bunker's got some special programming coming up on Wednesday.
Educate me.
A fantasy football special.
Oh, that's fine.
And I'm unsure at this point if this is going to be a weekly thing, but it's definitely going to be Wednesday night at 5 p.m.
Are you going to hop on?
I'm going to listen. I'm a big fantasy football guy.
Okay.
If I hear him with the wrong take, I will call up to cause mayhem.
What's the show called?
It probably has something to do with trigonometry and all kinds of complicated things if I know Chase. He's probably doing Pythagoras' theorem to figure out the top running back or something like that.
Well, that might be the easiest thing that I'll be able to understand then.
Pythagoras' theorem?
And that's the A squared, B squared, C squared.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the easiest one. So if that's the easiest thing, I'll be rooting them from the sideline.
All right. Well, I see Kilkenny's going crazy in the chat, and obviously it's hard for me to see the chat sometimes. So the man thought he should jump in. Welcome to the Aaron Schachter Show. Kilkenny, what's going on, man?
Oh, happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday.
Just throwing in my 2 cents about the game on Friday.
Sure.
And possible, thoughts and hopes and everything. So, obviously, happy about the win and everything.
Not just the win, but the 3 wins. I mean, the Jags have looked, quite frankly, really, really good this preseason, all phases and starters and backups.
Oh, I'm with you. And, with being with them since 95, winning in the preseason, hey, you know what? It's awesome. A lot of people say, preseason doesn't matter or anything. Ask the guys who are playing the game. I mean, I'm a competitive guy, so there is no such thing as a game that does not matter.
You know what I mean? And the other side of that is this. We feel good coming out of 3-0 with the preseason. Imagine how crappy we'd feel if it was 0-3.
Exactly. How many years did we go 0-3 and then start off the year about the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah. And at least when you have some preseason wins, it makes you have something to hang your hat on. But Trevor did good. But with watching, I'm not a box score kind of guy. I prefer to watch the trenches and see all the blocks downfield that end up springing the guy who gets the touchdown. Because that guy is just as important, if not more important, because if the block doesn't happen, the touchdown doesn't happen.
All right.
But watching Trevor, his mechanics were much better this year. He's been working on that since he hit the league. But his eyes, there was only one play that I seen him that they were showing at least, 'cause they don't have all 22. But, with that he actually went to his second read. Almost every single throw, if you watch him, he's watching his intended target as soon as he gets the ball in his hand. And that spells a lot of interceptions for a lot of quarterbacks, luckily he's putting the ball where it needs to be to keep it out of, harm's way a lot of times, and he's making the throw. But if he would look off his receiver more often, then the guys might be able to get open a little bit more because the safety wouldn't be cheating to that side, And with our new safety in cornerback or whatever they want to call them, Darby and Savage.
Yep.
Campbell, this is one of those things where, the whole box score and everything, it ends up driving me nuts because, like with Campbell was only throwing that, it was there 2 or 3 times.
It was 3 times by my count. It was one pass breakup and then 2 where he was just blanketing the receiver and really caused incompletion. I think he had 1 very contested catch in the game as well.
Exactly. Yeah, there was only 1 reception on him. And so almost the entire game, they were picking on Darby. And the big plays that got given up were given up by Darby, and yet everybody's like, oh, he, smothers the guys and everything else, and Savage, one of the knocks on him for coming out of Green Bay was, blowing the coverage. And he got beat a couple times the other night, and so that's a little bit of concern for me.
Sure.
And maybe y'all can, I've been trying to get somebody to bite on this subject, and maybe you can enlighten me here. Okay, so Travis Etienne is 5'10", 215. Tank is 5'11", 215. And yet everybody says that Etienne is the finesse runner and Tank is the power back. How in the world is someone going to be considered more of a power back when they're an inch taller and the same weight?
Because I don't necessarily think it's about specs. I think it's about run style, right? You see Etienne is so fluid and can really move side to side a la Barry Sanders, as well as that straight line running that we see from some of the more modern backs today. Whereas Bigsby, I really think it's a north to south thing. You're either opening up a hole for this guy or he's opening up the hole.
See, that's the problem, though, is at least last year and a little bit in preseason, when he did hit the majority of everything that he does is still to the outside. And when they do have him go into the middle, if there's not a real hole there, he's not getting much, And the whole putting Ingram in the backfield as basically a fullback, I don't know if y'all seen the same thing as I did, but you watch him when he was back there in the fullback position, he dropped down like he was a frog, man. His arms and legs were tucked in like he was a little tree frog out there on the field. It was crazy. You don't ever see anybody tucked down like that. That was crazy.
No, maybe he was trying a new way to do things. I'll tell you this. I appreciate the call, Kilkenny. Thank you so much. When it comes to Bigsby last year, I don't know that it's fair to take that season sample. Number one, rookie year. He's kind of still learning the game. We know that they lost. I'm sorry. Am I mixing up my years here? Was Tank a rookie last year, or is that 2 years ago?
Last year.
It was last year.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Last year, rookie year, obviously they lost confidence in him throughout the season. They really stopped using him towards the middle of the season. He only started to get handoffs again towards the end of the season. If he's busting out towards the outside, so was Etienne. So was really all the design runs from the Jaguars, and it was because they were so soft in the middle of that offensive line between the injuries and subpar play. So I think it's hard to judge what the running game looked like if you just base it on last year where they were having a lot of issues. That being said, I do think it'll look a little bit different this year. We certainly have seen it in camp. Tank Bigsby out there, it seems like he scored 2 touchdowns a day every day in training camp. I mean, this guy, at least from the preseason, has looked a world apart from where we were last year. Now, agreed, when it comes to the regular season, we'll see how that works. And speaking of the regular season, you mentioned Trevor Lawrence. Trevor, with the eyes, has never really been a problem, at least to me, in the past. Maybe it has, and I'm just not seeing it. But Trevor this preseason was throwing darts. Whether it's the Ingram touchdown, the 2 Ingram touchdowns. I think Parker Washington caught one. Maybe it was Elijah Cooks. Either way, whether you think Trevor's been looking off his receivers or not, he's thrown no interceptions in the preseason. And quite frankly, he has been the literal best, number 1, top quarterback in the entire NFL in the preseason, according to PFF. All right, 90.9 pass grade, beating out names like Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield. Mac Jones up there as well, by the way. Mac Jones with a hell of a preseason, coming in tied for 5th with an 84.9 grade. Still beating out names like Tua Tagovailoa and Patrick Mahomes in his 18 snaps and, all kinds of guys out there who you normally see above them in the quarterback rankings and the tiers. Here comes Trevin Mack, just put in a great preseason. So there is no shortage of excitement. No reason why you shouldn't be crazy lit up about what we're about to see from the Jaguars this season. Now, granted, it could all come crashing down very quickly, as we know here in Jacksonville. We get it. But as of now, Brian, I can't think of one reason that you would be not happy about what you're going into the season, with the exception of what Kilkenny said about the secondary. We knew going into the season, if you had to pick a position group on this team, where is the weak link? It's in the secondary. We knew that because they completely blew up the thing. You're talking about 2 out of 4 starters in that secondary being new this year. And on top of that, you got 2 or 3 other new guys sitting there behind them on the depth chart. And so it's a lot of new guys. You got a new defensive backs coach, secondary coach, and Chris Richard. You got a new defensive coordinator in Ryan Nielsen. You're asking guys to play in schemes, some of them, that they hadn't been playing in throughout their career, a.k.a. Andre Sisco and Tyson Campbell. And so I think there are a lot of question marks in the secondary. The hope there is that defensive front is so stout. The linebackers are so good, skilled, that it actually gives the defensive backs a little bit of breathing room. And that maybe it's the line and the linebackers that will cause the quarterbacks to make mistakes. And so those defensive backs get a little bit of help back there. I do think, to me, that's the way it looks to me when you talk about the defensive front and the linebackers. That linebacker group may be a top 5 in the league between Devin Lloyd and Foye Oluokun, and you could even throw in some depth in there because guys like Yasir Abdullah and Chad Moom are getting work done in the preseason as well. You can't be upset about what you're seeing from the Jags on that defensive front, from the linebackers, and from quarterback pressures, because Trayvon is in these dudes' pockets every game. Brian, you said we got another call. Let's go to the phone line. 904-36-UP. They dropped out. Never mind. We don't got to do it. We can go to Doug Pederson as we head to break with 1 minute on the clock. But hey, earlier this morning, there was breaking news out of the Jaguars. We heard the Jaguars traded, surprisingly, a veteran pass rusher to Seattle, and that trade includes Travis Gibson, who the Jags just brought in to camp this offseason. And he really played well. He showed out. And I guess the reality is, when it comes to that defensive front and the pass rush, you're not getting above 4th on this team.
Yeah.
You got Josh Hines-Allen, you got Trayvon Walker, you got Eric Armstead, and then you literally start the depth chart. Etched in sand, however you want to say it. So the best Travis Gibson could do was 4th. And so if the Jags could get value for him, why not? Plus, you get to send the dude to a spot where he's going to play. And that's part of the deal here. You don't want franchises holding players back from reaching their potential. You get a bad reputation in the league. Free agents won't want to come play for you. In this scenario, he gets to play for a team, by the way, with an exciting new head coach in McDonald, defensive guy with a big pedigree, coming to a decent team in the Seahawks with playoff opportunity. And if he's going to play snaps, all right, send him. They get a late-round pick for him. Will that late-round pick end up meaning anything to the Jaguars? Who knows? I mean, chances are it's unlikely. But again, this was a guy who was never going to get higher than 4th on the depth chart. And that's not to say he wouldn't have been impactful. We know that Ryan Nielsen wants to run these rotations. Certainly in the preseason, the rotations have been out of control fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like every other play, you're sending 4 or 5 guys at the sideline. That's not how it's going to go during the regular season, most likely. But they will be doing lots more rotations than we've ever seen on the Jaguars defense. So interesting move today by the Jaguars, and one that I don't think was expected. They asked Doug about this at the beginning of his press conference. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They asked Doug thoughts on the trade and overall what he thought about Travis. This is what he said.
When you have good players and other teams have needs, you're obviously going to you're going to listen. You're going to listen to what other teams. I mean, it's no different during the draft process or free agency or anything like that. And Travis has done an outstanding job for us, and he's, I think it's a good situation for him. It's a good situation, for the team he's going to, and obviously the compensation, for us, and it's a win-win. It gives him an opportunity to play, and he put good tape out there, his play, and wish him nothing but the best. Spoke with him this morning, and he's happy and excited for the opportunity.
Doug's like, good luck in your future endeavors. He's not allowed past the front desk without an escort. That's basically what he said there. Here's what I don't get about the NFL, and this is not anything new.
Yeah.
It always feels like players can be had, legit starters can be had for late-round draft picks at almost every position outside of quarterback. Even at quarterback, you saw the Justin Fields trade.
It feels new to me, though. That feels like in the past half decade that's become a real consistent thing with any trades, regardless if it's even some type of almost what you would deem blockbuster trade for the NFL. It's like big-time receiver goes for 2/3 and a fourth. Like, what?
Yeah.
Madden doesn't let you do that. The AI, that's janky. Knows that, nah.
Dude, legitimate names get traded. Legitimate starting talents, if not Pro Bowl talents, get traded for late-round picks. If you see Devontae Adams traded before the season starts or just into the season because the Raiders are going to be 0-17.
2 fifth-round picks.
You're going to see him get traded for like 4th-round picks, because he's 31, despite the fact that he's like a top 5 wide receiver still.
That he's going to give you 90-plus catches.
1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns? Oh, it's good for a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I feel good. I feel like we won today.
What was Snead traded for? Do you remember? I don't think that was a haul. I don't remember. L'Jarius Sneed. I feel like he went for a decent pick. But, these days, a decent pick is what, 2nd or 3rd round? Kansas City traded Snead to the Titans for a 2025 3rd round and a swap of 2024 7th rounders.
Aaron, I don't know where the switch happened, but I promise you, again, growing up.
Not just growing up, Jalen Ramsey was traded for 2 firsts, wasn't he?
Okay.
3 firsts, maybe.
Yeah. But that's my point. Like, it feels like, especially once you get into the 2020s, I don't know what has happened. But, man, you can get traded for a Coke can, a couple of snacks out this vending machine, and a 6th rounder if it's the right year.
I'll tell you this. I like Travis Gibson. I thought he did well in the preseason. It remains to be seen how he's going to do in the regular season with the Seahawks.
Okay.
He doesn't have a lot of time to get up on that playbook, before week 1. I don't know if they consider him a starter or not. But if this man balls out to the tune of 10 sacks and you end up getting a late-round pick for him, I don't know. It just makes you question things.
Yeah.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. More Doug Pederson when we come back on ESPN 690.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Brian Middleton, and if you haven't heard, let me be the first to tell you that it's time once again for ESPN 690 to pay your bills. I know it sounds a bit wild, but apparently we got the money for it. So listen, starting Monday, August 12th, you have a shot to win $1,000 of cash money. You just have to make sure that you're listening to ESPN 690 at 8, 10, noon, 2, or 5 p.m. to hear the keyword, and once you hear it, enter in at ESPN690.com. Just that simple. And Pay Your Bills is sponsored by Arlington Toyota, so make sure that you're tuning in for your chance to win.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's gonna be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Wenner is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
When I started in '98, it was a different mentality for first responders.
I've seen a lot of people struggle after retirement, still fighting the same demons that they had on the job.
The ability to reach out to a peer support program is huge.
I've done your job. I know the burden you carry. You've saved other people. Let us save you at this time.
It only takes a couple seconds to dial 3 numbers.
First responders, call 211 or visit stayfitforduty.org.
ESPN 690 is excited to give away tickets to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp versus Norfolk Tides game, August 29th. Go to our website at ESPN690.com, click on the contest page, and enter for your chance to win now.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
We would like to apologize in advance for whatever happens on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Y'all are lying. When are the Olympics really over?
January.
No, they're not.
Wow.
It's probably another week.
Wow.
I'll look it up.
It's over this weekend, Michelle.
Oh, thank God.
The Aaron Schachter Show, weekdays from 3 to 5 on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Schachter Show, 904-362-9901, talking Doug Pederson's press conference and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cut day looming tomorrow. Cuts to be made. Who will be on that list? Who will no longer be with the Jaguars come tomorrow? I feel like the roster is pretty much set at this point. I mean, don't ask Ryan Nielsen about that. Etched in sand, right? I feel like the roster is pretty much set. We'll find out some of the more controversial ones. I don't think you'll find any big names like some of these other teams are making cuts with. And Jaguars, for all the guff everyone was giving Trent Baalke.
All the what?
All the guff. All the bunk.
I beg your pardon, bro.
All the shenanigans.
No, is that what that means? All the guff.
All the guff.
Guff?
Yeah, it's like an old person's thing. Guff, right? It means trivial or foolish talk. He was a man with a wicked sense of humor and would not take guff from anybody. Trent Baalke has had to deal with a lot of guff. That man manages a payroll like nobody's business. He's got money for everybody. Look at that. All right. They asked Doug what the challenges of practice was this week. You got 2 before the cuts. You got 2 after the cuts. The reporter wants to know, how hard do you go? Do you go horde or not so horde? When do you start looking at Miami? How do you approach this, Brian? You think Doug's already looking at Miami?
Oh, yeah, of course, Aaron. Come on, man.
How could he not?
He's an NFL head coach.
You know what I mean, Doug?
He can multitask.
That's right.
Cutting guys from their livelihood, from their childhood dreams, and focusing on week 1 of the NFL season. I can do both.
Listen, we're still developing. We're still working. There's some things we got to clean up from the game, the other night. And
you know what? I think we're off by a cut here. Is it possible these might be mislabeled? Let's see what 3 sounds like.
Yeah, I'm happy, but you're never satisfied, right? I mean, there's still work to do, and we can continue to get better. And
I'm not sure, Brian, because on in the system, I don't see a cut 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me see if it rejected. Maybe I saved it wrong.
I'll play cut 5. Right? This is Doug asked. This is on the cut sheet. Doug being asked about practices. You tell me if this is the right cut.
Listen, we're still developing. We're still working. There's some things we got to clean up from the game, the other night, and still working on situational things, as a team, and then once we do get to down to the 53 or so, and we get our practice.
What do you mean or so? Has he got an extra couple of hiding spots for some guys on the roster? He's like, really? We got a 55-man roster? Don't tell the NFL though. Like they're not going to check.
Squad guys back in here. Then we can kind of get into more of an in-season routine with them. We'll look a little bit at Miami. Probably later in the week. But right now, it's still let's clean up the game and continue to push.
There's no way these dudes aren't watching film already. We'll look at Miami later this week.
Later in the week, Aaron. Are you saying that he's not telling the truth?
I mean, you know what?
Are you saying that he's lying?
Here's the thing.
Are you saying that Douglas Irvin Pederson is not telling the truth to the media?
I think he's telling the truth.
Oh, okay. So then
later in the week.
about that?
I am sure about that.
Okay,
I think he's telling the truth.
Good, because I don't like you talking about my coach in a disparaging way.
Yeah, you got it. Here's what I forgot. The game is not this weekend.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, we got a whole weekend before next week's games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he is going to take time at the end of the week to really start it. Not that they're not already looking at video. I'm just game planning, probably. All right, that's fine. In any case, he says there's stuff to clean up. I would love someone to be like, what specifically would you like to clean up?
That's why you need to go to these pressers in the morning time.
It's not even a difficult follow-up, Brian.
It's not a follow-up.
I asked you a question. You gave me a vague answer. Hey, Doug, please be less vague. It's literally every follow-up you need.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What kind of growth have you seen from Trayvon Walker? Trayvon's looked so good this preseason. Oh, that man is loading a big season.
You're seeing a guy that is like a sponge. I mean, he's eating up.
A horde sponge, though, right? A horde one.
Oh, okay.
All the coaching points, and it's really has been beneficial to him.
You say here, call him, he's not soft. He's a horde one. He's a sponge made out of concrete and metal.
How does that work exactly?
A sponge made out of concrete and metal?
And metal.
It's not very absorbent.
Call that a brick, where I'm from.
A brick sponge.
Or a block.
A block sponge.
You're seeing his length show up. You're seeing his power and explosiveness show up.
Length and power, fine. I saw this dude pull a spin move on Friday night. I don't think I've ever seen Trayvon Walker pull a spin move. Trayvon Walker, both hands in the dirt or turf, comes up on the play, starts to get blocked. That dude fakes to one side, spin moves, turns around, and catches the quarterback as he's trying to scramble.
Wow.
Adding a new weapon to the arsenal.
Scary hours.
Excited for Trayvon Walker, man. Big season incoming for the man. He's about to silence all the haters. The freak justifying the first pick. Calling it right now. Quick break for the Sports Center. When we come back, a little more Doug and a Brian Middleton production. You're listening to the Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute.
Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477.
Got water problems? Call your plumber and ask about Safety Zone Water Systems. The best plumbers use Safety Zone Water Systems. Safety Zone Water Systems are top quality equipment that provide the best water and save money too. Safety Zone Water Systems.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
I'm Doug Brown. One Dallas Cowboys drama ends today. Wideout CeeDee Lamb has a new 4-year contract that starts next year. The story first reported by ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Dallas always wanted to re-sign CeeDee. He always wanted to be back in Dallas. They just could not come to a meeting on a common number. Well, today they figured that out. 4-year deal, $136 million, $38 million signing bonus.
Adam Schefter, this new deal pays Lamb $34 million a year, second only to Justin Jefferson of the Vikings among wideouts. The Seahawks make a trade today to get pass rusher Trevis Gibson from the Jaguars. Jacksonville gets a 6th-round pick. Seattle's Uchenna Nwosu will miss 2 to 6 weeks with a knee sprain. Tuesday is final cuts day. Rosters will be down to 53 players by 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Wisconsin defensive lineman James Thompson Jr. could miss the entire season after surgery for what the team's calling an upper body injury.
Hey, it's Courtney Cronin. Coming up Tuesday on Unsportsmanlike, the drama continues to swirl around Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Will they get everything figured out before Week 1? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
If you're feeling undervalued where you bank or lost in the shuffle, it might be time for a change. Community First Credit Union makes changing easy and worth it. We've been helping the people in North Florida live their best lives for over 9 decades. And we're here to help you too. If you open a Community First checking account, we'll give you a $200 bonus, and you don't have to refer anyone to get it. Visit communityfirstfl.org for details. Member NCUA. Bonus requires deposits totaling $1,000 or more and 10 debit transactions within the first 90 days of account opening.
David Ammon here with Zero Res. So Ammon, your mom mentioned it's been a year since we did a complete house cleaning. The kitchen tile and living room floors are looking pretty dingy. It's time to call Zero Res.
That's right. Most folks know that Zero Res does an amazing job at cleaning their carpets and rugs, but they don't know that Zero Res can clean their tile and grout, LVP, and wood floors.
And right now, Zero Res is offering 25% off all hard floor cleaning. Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREZ. Zero Res.
Survivors of domestic abuse, you are not alone. Hubbard House provides free, confidential shelter and support for survivors in Duval and Baker counties. To learn more about the resources available to you, visit hubbardhouse.org or call the 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114.
Ronald McDonald House Charities of Jacksonville is celebrating 35 years of supporting the health and well-being of children by providing lodging, meals, transportation, and a community of care to critically ill children and their families who need to be near a hospital. To learn more about their mission for hashtag Keeping Families Close, please visit rmhcjacksonville.org. That's rmhcjacksonville.org. rmhcjacksonville.org.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
I tell you, man, it's really easy to see where you stand in your football team's eyes when you look at stats and box scores from Game 3 of the preseason. I'll give you, for instance, a guy like Trevor Lawrence throughout the preseason, I think he dropped back like maybe 18 times. 3 games. I don't even think he played in the second game, if I remember correctly. Trey Lance in the preseason has dropped back 129 times. Dallas is like, please, show us some value here. Give us hope that we could walk away from Dak or give us some trade bait. Trey Lance is like, hold my beer while I throw 5 interceptions in preseason game number 3.
Has it ever gone this poorly for somebody as highly touted who hasn't actually had significant time when it was for real? Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, across any sport, like I know that there's been guys who haven't made it to the league.
Busts, yeah.
Where you've been like, oh, man, I thought you were going to be great. You didn't even make it to the league.
Especially in baseball where you hear about this prospect or this prospect and like 5 years later they finally get to, well, it's a little different these days, but certainly back in the day, they finally get to the majors or they barely get there for a cup of coffee. You never hear from them again. These days, at least, it happens quicker. But still, you could be the first pick in the MLB draft, never amount to nothing. A guy in the 174th round ends up being Mike Trout. Obviously, Mike Trout was a first rounder, but I'm just saying. Yeah, when I think of players who it didn't work out for in the draft, I think of guys like Achilles Smith. I don't necessarily think of the situation Trey Lance had. He had to deal with injuries, some career changing, but the issue is this. He had a leg injury. That doesn't necessarily affect his targeting with the football. He certainly still looks fast. He ran for a touchdown for like 40-plus yards the other night.
Yeah, well.
But 5 interceptions against the 3 defense.
Yeah, preseason.
Preseason, third stringers. Oh, Trey.
I can't really put my finger on somebody. It'd be different. Now watch, Aaron, it'd be different if this was his rookie year. This was his second year. And it was looking like this. Is this year 4? What year is this for Trey Lance?
He was 2021. He's same as Trev.
Yeah, so so year 4. And I get it. He hasn't seen this. He had everything set up for him in San Francisco, and I know he dealt with the injuries, but then Brock Purdy came, and I'm like, well, if you can beat anybody out.
All right, but Brock Purdy has played extremely. He was almost an MVP candidate.
No, that's my point. I'm like, I guess you can't beat him out. But then we see you here, and 5 interceptions in the preseason. Can you beat anybody out? Because it's one thing to run into the phenomenon that's Brock Purdy, and that special circumstances coming together and just like, I can't win here, trade me elsewhere. And I get you behind Dak, who I can at least admit having a heck of a regular season.
Look at you defending Dak so much lately.
Well, especially after that Tiki Barber video I sent you like a week or so ago where he was picking Daniel Jones over Dak Prescott. I was like, okay, all right, Tiki.
I mean, the real competition is, can he beat out Cooper Rush? And this preseason hasn't looked like it.
Cooper's like, y'all bet not. Y'all better stop playing with me in here. And y'all saying he beat me out.
Best case scenario for the Cowboys would be that Trey Lance could handle this stuff and then ultimately takes the starting job from Dak after the Cowboys let Dak play for $60 million and then tell him to kick rocks.
Man.
But it ain't going to happen. And quite frankly, the fact that Trey Lance isn't working out and they clearly don't believe in Cooper Rush despite him winning 5 games, what was it, last year, 2 years ago? Despite those two things, I think this is the reason why they're ultimately just going to end up paying Dak.
Unless, hold on.
You got a conspiracy building?
Unless. All right. I know people think that Trey Lance is trash. Okay. I know people believe that, and I'm starting to be on that boat full time.
Oh, but you're not there yet.
Well, no, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Why not?
There's been storm after storm, and sometimes it affects people differently. But boy, it don't look great on the field. You said he ran for a touchdown. Fine, be a running back. You know what I mean? Go play receiver, catch the ball and run.
He's certainly fast enough.
Well, go do that.
He outran everybody. He made people look foolish.
But what if Trey Lance, just hear me out, is on Rain Dakota Prescott's payroll?
Ooh.
And he had a conversation with Trey way back in the San Francisco days.
He's like, look, you're never going to make more than $20 million in this league.
Ever. I've seen you.
I'll slide you a little piece of this check if you can help me.
I just need a little more leverage.
Maybe. It's not really working out. The plan to whatever Dak paid is too high. If Dak gave him anything more than a couple of trading cards and some bubble gum, it's too high. You need some of that back.
Tops playing cards right here, man.
I need some prorated cards back.
Oh, the possibility that Trey Lance is on Rain Dakota Prescott's payroll.
That should give us
secret employee.
Full government name.
Hey, man, because when you're doing sneaky stuff, allegedly, you know what I mean? I got to give all the information, man.
By the way, I don't know where the names Rain and Dakota come from, but it sounds as if there's like a Native American ancestry there.
Might be.
Yeah.
Might be. It should be Dakota Rain, just for the record.
Tell him, Brian.
It rolls off the tongue better. But Rain Dakota, sure, it's probably family, related to.
Who cares family related to? You got to tell them how to do it right, Brian. I made a whole life out of telling people they're doing it wrong. You could just follow in my footsteps. See what you're doing right now?
Like when you told the whole generation, you just went down the list. I think it's Z. Generation Z, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
And I wanted to be like, what? But it felt like you just meant everything. Just when you wake up to when you go to sleep.
I don't even know what I was talking about. You're telling me right now. I have no idea.
When you were talking about the kid at Wawa and it was something with your order. And you was like,
I do remember. He didn't even look me in the face.
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It was Wawa and Crumble Cookies out in the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Standing in there like a jabroni. Can't get no help from nobody. No one wants to look me in the face.
Like a jabroni.
I'm a customer. Help me. Take my money, please. Oh, now you just got me all mad all over again, Brian.
Well, that's how Trey Lance feels right now. That's how his quarterback coaches feel.
Didn't I know the kid's name from Wawa and I called him out? Now I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I have to go back
and find him now. Be like, what's he up to? Like at the end of the movie where you see, this guy went on to screw up everybody's order at the Wawa.
With a little caption at the bottom.
Yes.
Still shot.
Yes.
He kept on messing people up's
orders. Kept on messing up everybody's
for years
order.
to come.
Happily ever after. All right, back to Dougie P.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We still have the rest of the press conference to get to. Doug had mentioned something after the game. He was talking about Mac Jones, what a great job he's been doing, right? And the reporters asked him, it was like, man, this guy's been great this preseason. And sure enough, PFF thinks so. They got him rated as the 5th best quarterback in the league this preseason. And he certainly looks like he's been having fun and all this stuff. But what Doug said was that sometimes, and it was a little tongue-in-cheek, Doug was having fun with it. I don't think he meant anything significant with it. Sometimes he reverts back to his old Patriots ways. And so all of the blogs, Doug Pederson throwing shade. Doug Pederson throws one at Bill Belichick. Doug Pederson throws one at the Patriots. I'm not sure that's what he was doing. but it may have been.
But if he did, what y'all gonna do about it?
What are you gonna do
send
about
Drake
it?
May y'all offense down here, y'all anemic offense down here. What you gonna do about it?
That was unnecessary, Brian. They're trying
Nah,
hard.
it was necessary. What if he did throw a shot at the New England Patriots?
It's gonna hurt their feelings. All right. Well, they asked Doug, can you talk about what you meant?
Yeah, I know this thing got blown out of proportion, but you know when you it's no different than myself. I grew up in Green Bay, right? Played for Green Bay, played for and you learn certain things. So you know, you go somewhere else, like I went to Cleveland, and you revert back terminology, hand signals, you know, plays, things like that. That's what you're talking about. And sometimes
That's not what you're talking about, Doug. Not what he's talking about.
Hand signals, you know, plays, things like that. That's what you're talking about.
All right, so what Doug is saying that he meant is in the preseason game, hand signals were given by Mac Jones that were Patriots plays. That's not what you mean. That's not what you're talking about.
And sometimes he pulls out an old hand signal or throws out some old terminology or something, because that's what he's known, right? That's
cover up. Unconvinced is where I'm at. You think he was talking about the interception or the sack? Maybe.
That's what he's been a part of for the last several years, and you know, it's not a slight, a knock, anything. It's just that's what I meant, you know, and he, like I said, he's been great. He's been great for the room. He's played extremely well, and
just those pesky Patriots hand signals he keeps doing.
You know, we got to keep continuing to grow, you know, and it's just sometimes, especially as quarterbacks, and as astute as he is, and he studies the game extremely well, just the terminology and learning our way, you know, and how we do it, and you know, that's what I meant by it.
You know, honestly, if that's what he meant, then it's not a shot at the Patriots, it's a shot at Bowles High School. Because what Doug is saying is that Mac Jones is struggling to learn.
What, man?
And that's who was responsible for teaching the guy.
What?
The pride of Bowles. If Mac Jones has a problem learning, it's not the Patriots' fault. You got to go back to the origin. But the reality is that's not what Doug meant.
Oh, so what did he mean?
I think he meant taking the sack or like looking off receivers or other stuff like that. I think he was basically tongue-in-cheek criticizing Mac's play, not harshly. Just a little bit. He's basically saying, look, nobody's perfect, but he did it using a joke. And then all the blogs were like, oh, Doug's swinging at the Patriots. And now he's got to go so far back the other way, so it's not an issue anymore. Nonsense. Just say what you mean, guys. It's okay. Doug, it's okay if you swing at the Patriots. What's going to happen? Look at Sean Payton. Sean Payton said that Nathaniel Hackett was maybe the worst offensive coordinator or head coach in the history of the NFL, and then went on to play that team last year.
Yeah.
Peyton's still coaching. Hackett's still coaching. Everything's okay. Just words. It's 2024. We can say damn near anything. Haven't you seen it? You say anything these days. No penalties. It's fine. Right? Maybe? Not quite. With the starting 5 offensive line out there together against the Falcons, what did you see? And were you pleased with the results in the running game, Brian? Now, I'll say this. I thought the running game looked great this preseason relative to last year.
Oh, well, that's the
relative. Well, we won't know until we see ones-on-ones.
I'm
for a
glad
whole
that
game.
you put that at the end. Yeah.
Okay. But relative to last year, it seems like they're getting it done.
Yeah, you know, I saw these guys really kind of roll off the ball. I know 2 really good drives, you know, to end in touchdowns, and I thought these guys did a really good job playing together. Communication, there was great communication on the sideline between those 2 series right there, and you know, saw some physicality, you know, in the run game, which is good.
I would hope so. What else are you going to see in the run game?
You know, saw some physicality, you know, in the run game, which is good to see. And again, part of today is to go back and kind of clean up some things, you know, with those guys. But I thought overall, you know, it was really good to see them get out there and get some meaningful reps in those games.
I think Tank Bigsby is going to play a decent-sized role in the offense this year. I still think it's going to be a heavy dose of ETN throughout every game that he can play in. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if ETN finished the year with 1,400 rushing yards.
Yeah.
I know that's not necessarily, that probably means that ETN had the lion's share of carries, and I know they want to split the work up, but he's too good a weapon. Too good a weapon. It's hard to have him off the field. So I get you want to bring in Tank every once in a while, especially if you want to spell ETN. But in crunch time, when the blank is hitting the fan, you want ETN in there.
Okay.
You want ETN. All right. What about development at the young guys on the defensive line? We saw they traded Trevis Gibson. We've talked about Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker loading up a big year. You got Eric Armstead, who we really haven't seen in game action, but we will come week 1. What about the development of those guys?
Good. Obviously, Miles has really improved. DJ Coleman's another one that's improved a little bit and over through camp and the offseason program and it's what you want. It's your development. It's what we talked about, going back to day one, right? And how we develop the roster and a good situation.
Listen, I saw our friend Carlos over at Black and Teal, I think Carlos writes for, right? Yes.
Okay.
I saw our friend Carlos Sanchez over there talking about how Roy Robertson Harris might be a trade candidate.
Really?
Before the regular season. That was, of course, before Trevis Gibson was sent off.
I got you.
And you wonder how the team feels about Roy Robertson Harris. We had a couple of people call last week wondering about Roy Robertson Harris, where he's at, how he's doing, what's it going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the reality is until you get Eric Armstead out there and you see how gassed that dude can get, you really don't know what these rotations are going to look like.
That's fair.
As far as Ryan Nielsen goes, I know we've joked about the depth chart etched in sand, the Etch-a-Sketch depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
But really, for a new coach, we haven't really seen them open up the playbook that much this preseason. And that's not something that's necessarily new for a lot of guys. But for all of us fans who were expecting to see what Ryan Nielsen was going to bring to the table in terms of actual plays and schemes and lineup and rotations, we found out what Ryan Nielsen was going to be about through practices and through comments from other players.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you consider what we're going to see week 1, we still really haven't seen the defense.
Yeah, that's fair.
We haven't seen it. And so until we see it, I think it's going to be hard for us to understand versus what Doug is out there doing, which is really just, pumping up the young guys.
Interesting. Do you think that with the with seeing exactly what it is that Ryan Nielsen wants to implement with the defense, opening up the playbook, if you will, or opening up, exactly different looks and blitzes, making things, as they say, quote unquote, exotic, showing the full breadth of what it is that you're trying to do to, game plan and scheme against an offense. Do you think that that's going to take a bit more time to acclimate? Because that's been a big question at a lot of training camp, press conferences throughout. They were asking the players, hey, they even asked, Coach Nielsen, how has the acclimation been with the players in regards to your scheme? Well, if you're even though you're teaching all of that, but you're not really using it during a live game that counts in the regular season, do you think that that's going to still take some time for it to really kind of come together?
Yeah,
because,
I totally do, yes.
Okay.
The reality is anytime you have a new element introduced to the team, whether it's a player or a coach or a scheme, usually you are weeks into the season before it starts clicking on all cylinders. You've never seen a new head coach join a team or a new offensive or defensive coordinator join a team and change the way the game is played on that side of the ball and that team go into week 1 like they look in week 17. That's just not a thing. And so for Ryan Nielsen specifically, this isn't just a departure zone to man, but everything, the rotations, the positions the guys will play, all of that changes, including the language, the hand signals, the understanding of the playbook. There's no way these guys are going to be there and perfect on week 1.
And some would argue it's better that way. I know you have defenses out there. You start looking at Baltimore's and the Browns and San Francisco and depending on what metrics you want to use, Kansas City to a certain degree. But maybe you want something where you're not perfect. You just don't want to – you don't care if you're perfect or not, right? But you don't want to peak too soon. You hear that phrasing too. So, yeah, it's like a brick by brick. You don't want to be terrible. You don't want to be Swiss cheese out here.
No.
Wet paper bag.
Not.
But you're right. Yeah, it won't be perfect on week 1, but maybe that's the process that you want.
The hope is you have so many skilled players on that football team. Guys like Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, Eric Armstead, Foye Oluokun, Devin Lloyd, Tyson Campbell, Andre Sisco. You have so many very skilled guys on that team that even while they're getting acclimated to the playbook and playing together in that system, they're still able to do some dirty work out there while they're getting there. At least enough to hold on so that offense can put up 25 to 30 every game. Because that is the true test for this team. If this team has a defense that's ranked 15th, no one's going to look at it and go, what is going on? They're going to go, okay, that's where we thought they'd be. If this offense is a turd, boy, is it a problem here in Jacksonville. We'll be back on the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901 if you want to get in talking Jaguars. When we come back, some FSU talk on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny, warm, and humid on this Monday. We'll continue with the onshore winds, and it'll be a little breezy at times, with conditions a little rough out at our beaches. We continue to track an isolated shower threat this morning and midday near the coast in I-95, and those showers will be pushing inland with time later this afternoon. From the Action News Shack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Hello, thanks for calling the Crooks R Us support line with your tip of the day.
Beware, this is the time of year you'll see more and more Safe Touch security signs as we draw closer to back to school.
And you might ask yourself, who are these folks turning to Safe Touch security this time of year? And the answer's simple, parents.
See, parents love it because Safe Touch gives them a notification the moment Junior gets home from school.
And with video monitoring, parents can also see who happens to be with their precious little angel.
So basically, the kids are never home alone.
And the parents are never away from home.
Therefore, expect to see more Safe Touch houses this summer.
And more than ever, remember to stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Remember that, and you too will stay out of the slammer.
No alarm system gives you peace of mind like SafeTouch. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
For a limited time, get a new SafeTouch system at $0 down with a free video doorbell. Plus, add an indoor camera for just $49. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license CF 2000-1945.
This is the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet, only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Keeping your home clean while trying to sell it with kids, dogs, or a busy life can be overwhelming. Skip the stress of constant cleaning and get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. When you get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and avoid the hassle of costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Lori, said, they had our house sold within 3 days and kept us informed on everything that was happening. Mark Spain Real Estate was wonderful to work with, and I would highly recommend them to anyone looking to sell. Don't worry about the inconveniences of selling your home. I've been serving homeowners for nearly 30 years and have helped over 58,000 satisfied clients sell their home. I know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer will be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ***invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net. safetyzone.net.
Got water problems? Call your plumber and ask about Safety Zone Water Systems. The best plumbers use Safety Zone Water Systems. Safety Zone Water Systems are top quality equipment that provide the best water and save money too. Safety Zone Water Systems. Are you passionate about addressing health disparities and improving the health of your neighbors? Raise funds for life-saving research and inspire change for the chance to be named the American Heart Association's First Coast Leaders of Impact winner. Contact AHA First Coast at heart.org to nominate yourself or a local changemaker.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
ESPN.com is your home for all things ESPN 690. Find shows, podcasts, Florida State Seminoles football, contests, and more at ESPN690.com. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901 if you want to jump in and talk Jaguars or college football. Week 0 in college football just wrapped up over the weekend. Disappointing one for the Seminoles, that's for sure. But before we got to week 0, Brian, you had all kinds of analysts chiming in when it comes to Florida State.
Okay.
You had positive, you had negative all over the place. As a matter of fact, an unexpected voice, in my opinion, chiming in about Florida State.
Interesting. Who?
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the most celebrated head coach in Jacksonville Jaguars history.
Okay.
The man who brought Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne to the team.
Oh, no, I was thinking somebody else. Okay.
He basically built the Miller Electric Center on his own shoulders. It's Urban Meyer.
Oh,
I love Florida State. I think they lose a lot, but the first thing you always look at when I evaluate teams is their schedule. I think it's somewhat manageable. I know it's tough, but they have Clemson at home, at Miami, at Notre Dame. I think Mike Norvell is one of the most underrated coaches. They were awful in 2020.
He had to throw that in, by the way. He's like, by the way, you guys were embarrassing a couple of years ago.
And they were 3-6, but I mean bad awful. A lot of issues in the locker room.
He knows.
Maybe he does. By the way,
he knows about bad awful.
Does anyone know where his hands were during this interview? I didn't see it. It was just torso up. You always got to know where Urban's hands are. You always got to check it out. You never know what they could be digging into.
Oh, boy.
I beg your pardon, bro. I was just saying.
I'll
you gotta,
give you that one.
You got to know
what
where his
do you mean
hands
by
are.
that one?
I think the video knows what we mean. I think we've seen the evidence. If you don't have an accounting of where Urban Meyer's hands are, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide everybody.
Personal foul.
Hide everybody. He's coming for you.
Bad awful. A lot of issues in the locker room. And I'm
like,
how dare he?
Like kicking players?
How dare he?
What kind of issues in the locker room? Like head coaches not flying back with the team after losses?
I imagine Mike Norvell, someone sending him this clip, and him just being like, how dare he? How dare he?
Telling me I lose a lot. You just lost a gig a couple of years ago. You lose a lot, too.
I'm an old Gator, and so I looked at that, and I said, how did Florida State get so bad? But look at what this coach has done.
You know why he's not an old Gator? Old Gators have short arms. He would never be able to reach his hands where we saw they were.
That's wild work.
He's more like a Buckeye than a Gator.
State gets so bad, but look at what this coach has done. He went 3-6, 5-7. They won 10 games in the last year undefeated. So
Norvell's like, you know what? Maybe Urban Meyer's not that bad. He's saying some pretty smart things.
I really think he's one of the top coaches in America. I think they'll be there standing in the top 10. I might even have him a little higher at the end of the season.
Oh, Urban Meyer optimistic right before the worst weekend in FSU history. But look, he wasn't alone, man.
Take.
The Athletic put out their ranking of top college coaches. Tier 1, you got Kirby Smart, Dabo Sweeney. But Tier 2, Norvell is just sitting in there. Lincoln Riley with him. You got Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Day, Luke Fickell, Brian Kelly. That's some pretty good company right there. Urban Meyer not alone in his thinking. But on the other side of the argument, on the other side of Urban Meyer and his long, suspicious arms, was Paul Feinbaum.
Which current top 10 team will finish the season unranked?
Florida State. First of all, they have no business being in the top 10.
You didn't have to do all that, Paul. You could have just said, I don't think they should be ranked. No business.
No.
Yikes.
They have a difficult schedule. They have Florida State has Miami and Notre Dame within a 3-week period on the road. They end the season with Florida, which is a debatable team. But
debatable meaning Florida shouldn't have a team this year. I understand. But look, shout out to my boss, Big Jimmy. I was at the Carathon with this guy. He's a Miami Hurricanes alum.
You call your boss Big Jimmy?
I'm just saying, on the show, his name is Big Jimmy. His name is Jimmy.
Personal foul. I mean, I would do this one, but
I beg your pardon, Brian.
You don't got to be weird about it, Brian.
I'm not being weird about it.
Just saying
you go around calling your bosses Big Jimmy.
I don't. But I just say he's the big guy. He's the guy in charge, and his name is Jimmy. He's Big Jimmy.
When I see him tomorrow, I'm going to walk into his office and be like, yo, Big Jimmy.
And he's going to be like, hey, man.
Okay,
Listen,
all right.
First of all, he likes a good nickname. Second of all,
that's fair.
I don't think anyone's chasing that nickname away. So I don't know what you're worried about, all right? Listen, I was talking to Big Jimmy. He's like, hey, man, Florida State.
To this day.
He said, hey, man, Florida State will lose to Georgia Tech. Jim said
Can you please give some more context to why he would say something like that?
He said they got no business being in the top 10, a wholly remade roster. He wasn't wrong about that. They got all new guys on the roster. He didn't believe in the defense in the way that Jeff Colhane and people like me believed in the defense, and he certainly was right. So I got to shout out Big Jimmy for the cool nickname and the great forecasting right there. Back to Paul Feinbaum before we
I think they're going to get caught in the run-of-the-mill ACC game this year, which they did not encounter last year. They lost the guts of their defense. They have a quarterback who has certainly been around and remains a question mark.
It's a nice way to say he's been on a few teams in his couple of years.
And remains a question mark. And I think they also have a hangover. I think they used up too many tears crying about not getting in the playoffs, and that may slow them.
Easy, Paul Feinbaum.
There's something personal here. There's something personal here.
You think he applied to FSU and they were like, no, bro.
Yeah. Or I don't know.
You're going to FAU. You're going to UCF. You're not coming to FSU.
Maybe some of the barbers there said we can't do anything with what you got going on your scalp. I don't know what it is, but this sounds personal. Now he's cooking, and I appreciate it. I find it humorous, and he's not wrong.
What? He's not wrong.
He's just, it feels personal at this point.
It is personal.
He's adding too many lines on the end. There's too many extra bars right here.
Tears? What does it have to do with college football? No, he's throwing that in to hurt. Let's go to the phones. 904-362-9901. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Who's this?
What's happening, Aaron? It's David. How you doing, man?
Hey, to this day. What's going on, David?
Hey, I was calling just to talk about Florida State, and you played every clip. That took just about every thunder I had.
Not every clip. Not every clip, David. They got one more to go. One more.
Okay, well, I'm
44 yards away to do it.
After the game on Saturday, and said, man, you got obviously you got Notre Dame on the schedule.
Yep.
You got Clemson on the schedule.
Yep.
You got Miami on the schedule now.
Yep.
All they got to do is win the ACC, and they are in this 12-team. But the team I put in there, and I don't know why, I think it's because of a newcomer. The boy, they looked bad Saturday night, was SMU. I'm thinking SMU coming in this conference might give some of these teams problems, but they really struggled with Nevada Saturday night. So I might take that one back off the list.
I think all the favorites struggled in week 0. All the underdogs won the betting lines, so it was not a pretty week for favorites in week 0. But I got to tell you, David, I mean, look, some of the things you can still be excited about if you're looking for FSU to play well. Obviously, the running backs came with a large amount of hype. You have they have the guys, Lawrence Toafili is back there. Roydell Williams is back there. But even with those big names, even with the offensive line expected to open up a ton of holes against Georgia Tech, FSU only ran for 98 yards.
Hey, Well, Tech's defense last year, everybody was down on them, and you could throw the ball, on them all day, but they had a decent defensive line. But it kind of goes to show you that the quarterback for Florida State, he's been around. He played at Clemson a couple years. He went out to Oklahoma, somewhere out west, played for a year. But the quarterback play is suspect. But yeah, I don't know, man. Seminole Nation might be a rough year for him, but it's hard to take too much from the first week as well. You got to kind of calm down and take a breath. But I think they can lose 3 games. So.
It'll be interesting. I appreciate the call, David. Thank you so much. It'll be interesting to see how Florida State recovers. He's talking about DJ Uiagalelei. Uiagalelei. Thank you. I just call him Ukulele.
I mean, we know what you're talking about, so keep going.
DJ Ukulele completed 19 of 27, but a lot of these passes were just like shortened in the flat and stuff like that. And there's a lot more expectations on the shoulders of that young man to really put it together for Florida State this year.
I don't see why though. And so
he's
again,
a talented kid.
Well,
he can do it. He's a multi-tool quarterback.
Okay, Aaron.
You don't believe in him, clearly.
No. It's not that. I believe I know where his ceiling is at.
Oh.
And I think we've seen it. This is the 3rd stop. He went from coast to coast, and it's looked the same. He's fine. You know what I mean?
To me, 21 points is underwhelming against Georgia Tech, so I'm with you on that. But that being said, I really think Florida State's defense is the culprit here. A lot of expectations for this defense, even though it was rebuilt from last year.
Right.
It was rebuilt with some pretty significant guys coming in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Some of these recruits, some of the guys who were organically stepping up into new roles, and it just did not show on the field whatsoever. Georgia Tech was able to control the football for most of the game. You had Jamal Haynes run for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. Haynes King threw for 146. He ran for 54 yards. They were pretty much able to control the line of scrimmage on almost every possession. 190 rushing yards, 5.3 yards a carry. If you're Florida State and the expectation is not only to win the ACC, but to make it to the college football playoffs, 5.3 yards a carry against Georgia Tech ain't going to do it, man.
Hey, listen, I think this is a case of – I don't think this is necessarily a case of Florida State being so much more overrated than what they will be by the time the regular season ends and potentially they're in the ACC championship game. I think there's a bit of that, but I think there is a lot more of Georgia Tech. I read somewhere an article on this game. Georgia Tech in their last five games against top 20 opponents, top 20 ranked opponents in the ACC, they're 5-0. So, this team has been coming to a certain degree for a while, even though they finished, I think, 7-6 last year.
Yeah, this team was not showing hope last year, but I think what you are talking about is the fact they get up for big games.
Yeah.
They've been upset-minded now for a few years. You're talking 5 years. I'm just looking at the last 2. Mm. They've knocked off 2 ranked ACC opponents at Miami and versus North Carolina. That was in 2023. In 2022, they won games against ranked opponents at UNC, Drake May, and Pittsburgh. And so the team does get up for the ranked opponents, but not a good enough team to consistently compete, certainly not be consistently ranked inside the top 25 over the last 2 years. So Florida State, in my opinion, should have walked away with this game. They just did not.
Yeah.
They just did not. Now, you had record-setting field goals from Ryan Fitzgerald out at FSU. 59-yard field goal. That's a career long. Second longest in FSU history. Just before halftime, he tied the game at 14 with that one. He had a 52-yarder earlier in the game. But it was Aiden Burr who came out there and capped on the game. You got Florida State obviously going to take a tumble in the next AP Top 25. We'll wait to see where they tumble to. Are they in the top 25? What do you think?
Probably.
Yeah, from 10 to what? Like 20-ish?
Yeah. I think to be there.
It's going to be a fall.
Yeah.
If they're in, they're going to be in the bottom 5 to 7, I think. Florida State defensive line viewed as one of the ACC's best before that game started. They didn't record a sack. They allowed Tech to run at will. So questions certainly for that defense. But if you know Mike Norvell, they'll come prepared to play for next week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was almost like a game of keep away at the very end. I saw another stat where Florida State, the offense, they touched the ball one time in the last 21 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
One time.
Georgia Tech controlling that line of scrimmage. Yeah.
There's some, my coach would say, there's some soul searching that needs to happen.
So Georgia Tech plays Georgia State August 31st.
Yeah.
It's a nice win for the boys.
Yeah, the fake GSU.
And then, because the real one is Georgia Southern.
Amen.
All right.
Huh? Say it again, Aaron Schachter.
The real one is Georgia Southern.
Amen.
What's your mascot over there? The Angry Peach? What is it?
Georgia Southern? Or okay, I didn't know. Georgia State, I think they were, I don't know what they are, but Georgia Southern's the Eagles, man. Come on now.
Eagles, I'm sorry.
Stop playing with us, mate.
Squawk! Eagle. All right. Like
Whoa.
that.
Do Eagles make that sound? Let me hear. It's like almost like a chicken that's about to die. I mean, I don't. What
the chicken's more like a bucluck. It's like a. This is like a. More crowish.
Crow?
Yeah, more crowish. Yeah.
Okay.
We can examine that a little bit later.
Do
Florida
we have
State
to?
plays
Okay.
Boston College September 2nd. Next game.
Right here on ESPN 690.
Right here on
I hope.
ESPN 690. We hope. Shout out to Mark Templeton.
Shout out to him. Thinks you're a funny guy.
We like that guy.
Pleasant dude.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Whatever you want to talk about is fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're okay. FSU's okay. Jaguars are okay. Travis Gibson's okay. Everybody's okay. I got a couple more stories when we come back, Brian. Things I didn't get to. Thrilling over the weekend. Not just you getting pulled over by the cops. Not just FSU disappointing everybody. Not just the Jaguars taking care of business. We saw a Little League World Series thriller. I got highlights for you when we come back on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Hey guys, your chance at free money is back. ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Your shot at winning $1,000 ramps back up starting August 12th.
Now we talking.
Just make sure you're listening at either 8, 10, noon, 2 p.m., or 5 p.m. for the keyword.
Can't wait.
Then go to ESPN.com to enter the contest. So don't miss out on some easy money. ESPN 690 pays your bills.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Powered by Arlington Toyota.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Meet Mike Lester.
Talent is not going to be the right choice for every single person out there, right? Because everybody is different. We do well when our clients do well. We're literally sitting on the same side of the table with them. We're in this together.
Yeah.
When you do well, I'll do well. Once we have that understanding, then we can come up with a plan that's designed to help you be successful in retirement.
Find out more at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
Got water problems? Call your plumber and ask about Safety Zone water systems. The best plumbers use Safety Zone water systems. Safety Zone water systems are top quality equipment that provide the best water and save money too. Safety Zone water systems.
Firearm-related injuries are the leading cause of death among children and teens. In our community, the number of patients admitted to Wolfson's Children's Hospital for firearm-related injuries has increased more than 30% since 2021. It's important to know the basics of firearm safety and how to store them unloaded, away from ammo, and locked up. Learn more at go.baptistjacks.com/gun-safety.
UNCF salutes HBCUs. Each year, UNCF awards more than 10,000 scholarships and helps 60,000 students build better futures. Go to uncf.org right now to donate. Remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Connect with us on Facebook.
What do you mean by that?
Search for @ESPN690Jax and check out the latest sports news, live stream, or show clip.
Now we talking.
ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show. You just can't let it go. Funny, shocking, nonstop ride. Feel the rush
deep inside. Yeah, it's the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901. Shout out to the AI band who made us that song.
Really quick, Aaron.
Oh.
Breaking news sounder for me.
Okay, hold on. Just
breaking news sounder, Aaron.
Just a little bit.
Hey, man, breaking news, man.
Yep.
From me personally.
Oh, a little personal update.
I would like for the shipper from China to send me my Camila Cardoso t-shirt.
I'm gonna literally. I feel like a bad person because I'm sitting here. They haven't even given me the notice that it's shipped.
I've done that before. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
I feel like I got to show you receipts so you don't think I lied to you.
I've ordered like that before. It's gonna be a while before you get anything, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be like 18 different steps that happen like in a matter of like 6 hours.
I want to cancel it.
Well, cancel it then. But I'm telling you, it's gonna be a while if you're waiting.
They're probably not even gonna let me cancel it.
I mean, you can cancel it. You're not getting your money back.
You know what I mean?
They need, and also, the Chicago Sky, I wish they would just let Cardoso go because they keep putting her on the bench, and she's like the best player on the team.
I'll tell you what, man, as long as she just starts doing the $5 to $10 cameos again, it doesn't matter what happens. Just do the cameos.
How much?
Just do
how
the
much
cameos.
was she
It was
charging?
$5,000.
And you were like, what? How dare you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like double her WNBA pay. $5,000. And on Cameo, too, you know what they started doing on Cameo is they'll go, hey, do you want to direct message this celebrity? Pay $2.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, that seems worth it. And then you see the fine print. And
Plus
they go,
5,000.
No, it says the celebrity is not guaranteed to respond.
Oh.
You're just throwing money down an empty well?
Just hope.
Just hope? I'd rather DM him on Instagram
I'm
and
about
see
to
what
say,
happens.
hey, my boy, I can get you on IG with a.
Know what I mean?
You can get ignored for free.
How many interviews that didn't happen on the Aaron Schachter Show because I went to Cameo and paid $2 to get in someone's DMs?
Speaking of Cameo, ADHD moment, the people that sing Candy.
The people that sing
the
Candy.
group that sung Candy, right? In a Cameo?
It's
like Candy.
The group Cameo. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That song, is that about an illicit substance?
Oh.
I've sung it for my entire life, right? At every function that either side of my family has had that involves celebration, and sometimes when it was a sad time and we needed to start celebrating. And now, in my Google wormhole, all of a sudden, rabbit hole. I keep saying wormhole. I don't know why.
Wormhole is like traveling. Rabbit hole is just getting lost and distracted by something.
Okay, in my Google wormhole, all of a sudden, Redditors are telling me that, hey, man, you're a little too happy singing about that illicit substance. Let me break it down for you.
Interesting.
I watched the videos. A lot of white girls on there. I don't know if that's supposed to be a correlation too. I'm like, Young Jeezy used to call it white girl. Anyway.
According to Wikipedia.
Oh, here we go.
Candy's a song by Cameo, released as the second single from their 86 album, Word Up. Ow. The song features a solo saxophonist, Michael Brecker. Honey, a reworked version with the different lyrics, was included in their next album. Samples, music video, popular culture.
Yeah.
Nothing about origin or references. I went to Song Facts as well. They don't have anything there. The investigation will continue, Brian.
Right.
You could be safe in assuming if they're singing about candy. It's a very specific kind of candy.
And it was the 80s.
Hey, I don't want to end the show without giving a shout-out to Lake Mary, Little League World Series champions. Talk about the comeback kids, the cardiac kids. This team never quit. They lost in the double elimination round. Usually that means it's not going to happen for them. They end up playing 8 games to get to the final game.
Wow.
8 games. The people they were playing against, Chinese Taipei, I think they only played 6. Texas, the biggest team expected to go all the way, only played 4.
Wow.
This team beat them in that double elimination bracket. But of course, it was 1-0, bottom of the 9th. The kids from Florida ended up tying the game. They go to extras, and that is where this happened.
Will they bunt Alexander with the runner at second base, Norton? He gets it down. Oh.
Man after his Brett Martineau's heart, he lays down this amazing, perfect bunt down the first base line.
Gets it down. Oh, it's perfect. They throw it away. Lake Mary's going to win.
This poor kid on Chinese Taipei overthrows the first baseman by about 3 baseball fields. Probably had all the adrenaline running through him.
Yeah.
Lake Mary scores.
The Little League World Series championship.
And they walk off with the banner. These poor kids from Chinese Taipei just all in tears. Me and my son were watching the end of this game, and these kids are all in tears. My son felt so bad for him. He was like, Dad, look how sad they are. And I was like, yeah. Look at the winners, my boy.
You know what I mean? Rule
Look
Britannia.
at the winners.
Yeah, boy.
Don't worry about the losers. No one looks at them. Look at the winners. Shout out to Lake Mary for getting it done. Wasn't supposed to happen, Brian, but they were able to get it done. The other big news of the day, CeeDee Lamb getting his big deal, 136 over 4 years, talking $34 million. He now becomes the second highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, right behind Justin Jefferson. And you know who the big loser in this news is?
Dak Prescott.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh.
Still out there refusing to sign Jamar Chase. Guess what? He plays this year. Next year, that price is going up. That price is going up. They better be calling Jamar Chase immediately. If I'm Jamar Chase, that phone is on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Sending
my agent.
all the calls to the voicemail. Fun time in the Aaron Schachter Show today. Brian, thank you so much for a great show.
Yeah, man.
And a great story. We appreciate it. Shout out to everyone who called in today. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Inc. magazine named DLP Capital as one of the Inc. 5,000 fastest growing private companies for a remarkable 12th consecutive year. DLP Capital is dedicated to building and financing thriving communities. The last 3 years drove 158% growth, earning DLP Capital the distinction of being the 12th fastest growing company in Jacksonville, one of Florida's biggest cities, and 69th among real estate companies. Log on to dlpcapital.com. That's dlpcapital.com to find out how you can invest.
David Ammon here with Zero Res. Wow, it sure is hot outside this time of year. I just want to stay inside or go to the pool.
Zero Res is also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs, but they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone, and hardwood floors.
Right now, get the hottest price of the year. 25% off on all hard floor cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res,
spelled Florida backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Bueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's gonna be Bueller.
Your question, Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon! Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air & Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool!
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Northeast Florida is home to the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic. If you have a need, they can help. Immediate access to care for active duty, veterans, National Guard and Reserve, and their entire families, regardless of discharge status or ability to pay. Cohen is in the community and ready to help. Referrals are not necessary. Call the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Centerstone, 904-431-3500. They also offer many free events and groups to join. Call 904-431-3500 or go to CohenInTheCommunity.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Coughlin. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Each year, more than 15,000 kids across the U.S. are diagnosed with cancer. The Tom Coughlin J Fund provides financial and emotional support to families in our community who are tackling this disease, from assistance with household bills to events that give the kids a time out from cancer. We need your help to be there for these families. Learn how you can support us at tcjfund.org.
I'm Daniel Davis, President and CEO of the Jacks Chamber. Our economic development team at Jacks USA Partnership helped attract $2 billion in capital investment to our community last year. Yes, that's billions with a B. From financial services and health tech to advanced manufacturing and logistics, companies across the world are choosing to invest in Jacksonville and create jobs right here. We work hard here to create jobs and opportunity, so everyone has the opportunity to succeed. To learn more about the Jacks Chamber, visit jackschamber.com.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota.
Go to ESPN690.com now. Look for the ESPN Pays Your Bills contest. Enter the keyword BIG. That's BIG by 1/2 for your chance to win $1,000.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Less than 2 weeks before the season opener, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Dallas holdout receiver CeeDee Lamb gets a new 4-year, $136 million contract. What effect could this have on other players?
Jamar Chase would like a new deal in Cincinnati. Brandon Ayuk would like a new deal in San Francisco. You'd like to see if this deal with CeeDee Lamb will have any bearing on any of those current unresolved contractual situations.
Adam Schefter, wideout Juju Smith-Schuster is coming back to the Chiefs. He played for Kansas City 2 years ago, the first of the Chiefs' back-to-back title teams. He played for the Patriots last year. Adam Schefter also reports running back Nick Chubb is expected to miss at least the first 4 games of the season on the PUP list, still recovering from a left knee injury. Dolphins offensive lineman Isaiah Wynn and linebacker Bradley Chubb will also miss at least the first 4 weeks on the PUP list. And Rams wideout Puka Nacua back on the practice field today for the first time since early August.
Hey, it's Courtney Cronin. Coming up Tuesday on Unsportsmanlike, the drama continues to swirl around Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Will they get everything figured out before Week 1? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN and the HD studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's do it. This is Freddie and Harry.
As far as the Cowboys and the Falcons, see, I got to address this too. I can't wait for y'all to come to Mercedes-Benz Stadium so we can fold you up like a pretzel.
Oh, we're going to be there. Cowboys South?
Fold y'all up like a pretzel.
You mean Cowboys Southeast? Because you know we're going to have more fans in that stadium as Cowboys fans. You know that, right? It's going to be like Georgia playing at Georgia Tech. There's going to be more Georgia Bulldog fans in that stadium than Georgia Tech fans. There's going to be more Cowboys fans in that stadium. You know that, right? Put it this way. We're going to put them birds in a cage, and instead of going, they're going to be like, help, help, after them Cowboys get done with them in November in Cowboys Southeast Stadium.
This is Freddie and Harry.
How about them Cowboys? He is Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman, and welcome to the best show on your radio. You know it better as Freddie and Harry.